Ever noticed how airports have this strange way of making you feel comfortable? That soft carpet right before security, the free Wi-Fi, even that ATM is perfectly placed when you've just run out of cash. It all feels like they're making your travel day easier, right? But it's not that simple. They're part of a bigger, well-planned game, one that's been designed to influence what you do, what you buy, and how much you're willing to spend before you even get to your gate. From the signs you follow, to the smells in the air, to the so-called free perks, it's all psychology. And the wild part? Even if you think you're too smart to fall for it, chances are you already have. So today, we're pulling back the curtain on the hidden traps inside airports, the ones that make you open your wallet without even realizing it. And more importantly, I'll show you how to spot them and sidestep them, so you walk to your gate with your coffee, your boarding pass, and your money still in your pocket. Buckle up. This is going to change the way you see airports forever. Right before you reach security, something subtle happens under your feet. One moment, your carry-on is rattling across hard tile. The next, it's gliding over soft carpet. It's quieter, feels calmer, almost like the airport's giving you a little breather before the checkpoint. But that plush carpet isn't just about comfort. It's a quiet example of what designers call cognitive friction. The shift in texture signals your brain to ease up. You slow down without realizing it. And when you slow down, you linger. Where does that lingering take place? Exactly where the airport wants it, right in front of the most profitable retail space. According to research from DKMA, travelers on carpet are nearly twice as likely to notice nearby shops, and they spend more, about 7% extra in regular retail and 10% more in duty-free. No wonder those hushed carpeted areas are often lined with luxury brands and exclusive travel gadgets. So the next time your pace changes on the way to security, remember, it's not just your shoes enjoying the upgrade. You're being nudged, gently but deliberately, towards spending more before you board. And that's just one small move in a much bigger airport playbook. You've made it to your gate, D14, feeling pretty good about being on time. Then, right as you settle in, there's an announcement. Your flight's been moved to F7. Suddenly, you're hauling your bag across what feels like half the airport, weaving through crowds, trying to figure out if you've just walked into the world's most expensive mall. Most people chalk it up to bad luck or a last-minute aircraft change. But here's the part no one talks about. Sometimes, those gate changes aren't just about planes or weather. They're a calculated detour. By moving you from one end of the terminal to another, the airport is funneling you straight past prime shopping territory. Every coffee shop, snack stand, and duty-free display you pass is another chance for you to stop just for a donut or grab one more bottle of water before boarding. I've heard from travelers who had their gate switched twice in the same airport, both times winding through retail areas. And sure enough, each trek ended with them buying something they hadn't planned on. If your flight suddenly takes a scenic route from E5 to H22, it's not always about logistics. Sometimes, the only thing they're really trying to move is your wallet. On paper, the whole boarding group system looks like it's just about keeping things organized. In reality, it's a carefully staged moment designed to spark envy and nudge you into paying for a little extra privilege. You're standing there, still clutching your boarding pass, watching Group 2 stroll down the jet bridge like they own the place, while you're stuck in the slow shuffle of Group 7. Even though everyone's flying economy, those groups create an invisible social ladder, one you can't help but measure yourself against. Airlines know it's not just about getting on the plane earlier. It's about how it feels. Boarding first means overhead bin space that's actually empty, a few peaceful minutes to settle in, and 0 elbows in your ribs while you store your bag. And that's where the offers roll in. Pay a little more and skip the wait. Reserve now for early boarding. Get our credit card and you're automatically Group 2. It's a sales pitch wrapped in the illusion of status. Let's be honest, Group 2 feels like stepping onto a red carpet, while Group 7 feels like you've shown up late to a family barbecue and all the good seats are taken. At that moment, you're not just buying a seat, you're buying a little bump in social rank, even if it only lasts until the cabin door closes. You're slouched in an airport chair, half listening to the muffled boarding calls in the distance while scrolling your phone just to kill time. Then ding, a notification pops up from your airline. Upgrade to priority boarding for just $29. 2 minutes ago, this wasn't even on your radar. But now, that just $29 feels tempting.
Nice.
Before you've even had time to overthink it, your thumb has already tapped buy. That upgrade offer isn't random. Airlines know exactly when to send it, right when you're tired, restless, and looking for a little win to make the wait feel worth it. Behavioral data tells them that in this low-energy moment, your brain is more likely to justify spending for comfort, whether that's a bigger seat, early boarding, or lounge access. And it's not just timing, they know how to phrase it. Words like enjoy priority, treat yourself, or peace of mind for your journey sound like friendly invitations. In reality, they're sugar-coated sales hooks. The result? You haven't even stepped on the plane, and you've already spent more than you planned. Let me tell you this, when that limited time offer lights up your screen at the gate, take a breath before tapping. That gentle buzz might have more to do with boosting the airline's revenue than making your trip better. You pull out your phone, hop onto the airport's free Wi-Fi, and before you've even finished scrolling your feed, your personal data is already halfway out the door. Here's why. To get online, you're often asked for an email, your date of birth, maybe even your phone number. Some networks might sneak in permissions to track your browsing history, all wrapped up in that one little connect button you tap without a second thought. And what do they do with it? Simple. Data is money. Airports often share this information with advertisers who can target you with laser precision. Travel insurance offers, duty-free shopping deals, those glossy VIP lounge ads, they can start showing up while you're still sitting at your gate. Search Rome hotels once, and minutes later you're staring at a lounge promotion in Italian, like the internet's reading your boarding pass. Airport Wi-Fi has never been just Wi-Fi. It's a quiet trade. You give them access to your attention and personal details, they turn it into revenue. That doesn't mean you should never use it, but know the game you're in. Use a VPN to shield your data, or skip the login entirely and use your phone as a hotspot. Because in an airport, anything labeled free usually comes with a price tag. You just might not be paying in dollars. The airport food court is a classic trap. You're hungry, your flight's in an hour, and before you know it, you've dropped twice the usual price on a lukewarm sandwich and a bottle of water. But here's a little hack. Sometimes, eating on the plane is actually cheaper. If you've got a co-branded credit card with the airline you're flying, you might already get a discount on in-flight food and drinks. On American Airlines, for example, a cheese and fruit plate listed at $8.99 drops to $6.74 when you pay with their card. That's less than most terminal snacks, especially when a single yogurt at the gate can run you $11 and they don't even give you a spoon. It's not just about the price. Airport food is a gamble. You might get something decent, or you might get a sad sandwich that looks nothing like the picture. On the plane, the menu hardly changes. Once you find something you like, you can order it knowing exactly what you're going to get. Bonus, you don't have to juggle it through security or guard it in the boarding line. No greasy bag, no balancing act with your luggage. Just sit back, place your order, and let it come straight to your seat. Not in the mood for a full meal midair? Easy. Keep a protein bar or a small chocolate stash in your bag. No mess, no hassle, and you're covered when hunger hits. It's bad enough dropping $20 on a mediocre airport sandwich, only to find out your favorite lighter or that multi-tool you love didn't make it past security. No goodbye, no closure. Or worse, your checked bag never shows up on the carousel. You think, that's it, gone forever. Not exactly. Most of these vanished items go on to have a second life. And no, they're not sitting in some dusty storage room. For confiscated stuff, TSA usually keeps it for about 30 days. After that, it's not trashed. It's bundled together, everything from folding knives to power tools to electronics, and sold off through government liquidation programs. Anyone can buy them, often for dirt cheap, if they know where to look. Lost luggage works a little differently. If no one claims it within 60 to 90 days, the airline sells the entire suitcase to bulk resellers. They'll sort through the contents, designer jeans, vintage watches, even laptops, and resell them, often through places like the Unclaimed Baggage Center in Alabama. Yeah, that disappearing item of yours might be sitting on a thrift store shelf in Alabama right now, waiting for a stranger to pick it up, take it home, and brag about their amazing find. So if you don't want your stuff pulling a disappearing act, take a quick photo of everything in your suitcase, swap out any old AirTags, and make sure your contact info is both inside and outside your bag. That way, if it ever goes on an unexpected adventure, you've got a much better shot at getting it back. Now, we have 5 more tricks. Stay tuned, because the very last one could actually put $1,000 straight into your pocket. You're on your way to the gate when you suddenly remember you need some cash. Perfect. There's an ATM right next to the coffee shop. It looks legit, easy to use. Swipe your card, punch in your PIN, money out. Done. But wait, what you don't notice is that this quick transaction just cost more than the overpriced cappuccino on your other hand. Airport ATMs are notorious for sky-high fees, withdrawal fees, international transaction fees, and the sneaky one most travelers miss: dynamic currency conversion. Stack them together and you've basically fed a mini money vacuum. In some cases, the fees can hit 10% of the amount you withdraw. Using a foreign card? That sting gets worse. Pull out $100 and your statement might show $112. If you've ever looked at your bill and thought, I just got robbed, well, you kind of did. Only this thief is perfectly legal. This secret even makes you more surprised. Many airport ATMs aren't even run by banks. They're owned by private companies that thrive on catching travelers who are rushed, jet-lagged, or simply too tired to double-check. And that friendly prompt, "Accept this exchange rate?" is the real sting. Always hit no on dynamic currency conversion. It almost always gives you a worse rate than your bank. If you want to avoid the hit, get your cash before heading to the airport, or use a travel credit card with no foreign transaction fees, and lean on digital payments whenever possible. That way, your money stays in your pocket, ready for real travel surprises, not feeding a machine for the privilege of accessing your own cash. The flight attendant picks up the mic. Ladies and gentlemen, we've arrived earlier than scheduled. Feels good, right? Makes you think the pilot hit turbo mode just for you. But here's the twist. Chances are that early arrival was baked into the schedule from the start. A lot of airlines quietly pad their published flight times by an extra 20 to 30 minutes. Why? So even if they run a bit behind, they can still claim they landed on time or even ahead of schedule. It keeps their stats looking shiny and boosts those all-important customer satisfaction scores. Remember, when you touch down 10 minutes early, don't be too quick to celebrate. Maybe you didn't fly faster. You just stepped into a carefully timed illusion the airline planned all along. And if you've been watching this far, you probably already know. That's just one of many little tricks they pull while we're busy thinking we scored a win. Ever noticed how you feel unusually tired, maybe even a little foggy after a long flight? That's because the cabin is pressurized to a lower level than sea level, which means you're getting less oxygen with every breath. Totally within aviation safety rules, but not exactly friendly to your energy levels. That subtle drop can leave you drained, lightheaded, dehydrated, and sometimes even a little irritable for no reason. It's not just you. It happens to everyone who's not wearing a cape and flying outside the plane. The easiest way to handle it is to stay hydrated. Sure, you can keep asking the flight attendants for water, but after the third round, most people just give in and buy a bottle. And that's when the airline quietly cashes in, turning something that could have been free into an overpriced impulse purchase. You've seen them through the frosted glass, plush chairs, fancy desserts, that quiet hum of important people energy. And you think, what a pity, only first-class passengers get in. Not anymore. These days, plenty of lounges sell day passes for around $30 to $60. Some credit cards, even the ones without annual fees, will get you in for free. The trick isn't having a luxury ticket, it's knowing where to look and what perks you already have. Picture this, instead of cramming into a crowded gate area with a $5 coffee and fighting a stranger for the only working outlet, you're stretched out in a lounge chair, cappuccino in hand, phone charging right next to you. Maybe your iPad and laptop too. And if you've got a long layover, a lounge can be pure salvation. No noisy announcements blaring every 2 minutes. No seat wars. Just Wi-Fi, real food, and the guilty pleasure of peeling an orange on a leather sofa like you own the place. So before your next flight, check your airline's app or your card benefits. You might already have access and not even know it. And the next time you're stuck at the airport for 3 hours, you could turn that layover into a mini vacation. You get to the gate. It's packed. Overhead bins are already full. And wait, why don't you have a seat assignment? Welcome to the airline's favorite gamble, selling more tickets than there are seats on the plane. Why do they do it? Because they know a certain number of passengers won't show up. Using data and algorithms, they can predict that number almost perfectly. But every now and then, everyone shows up, and that's when things get messy. The announcement comes over the loudspeaker. We're looking for volunteers to take a later flight. Sounds polite enough, but if no one steps up, they'll pick someone and remove them from the flight. You don't get a say. And yes, it's completely legal. The US Department of Transportation allows it, and you agreed to it in the fine print when you bought your ticket. If you want to turn that hassle into a win, timing and patience are everything. If your schedule is flexible, this is your moment to negotiate. But don't jump at the first offer. Airlines often start at around $200, but if no one bites, they'll raise the stakes, sometimes over $1,000, plus hotel, meal vouchers, and an upgraded seat on the next flight. It's great, right? With just a little know-how, you've got a real shot at stretching that travel budget and giving yourself more to spend on the fun stuff. But if you can't be flexible, protect yourself by checking in early, being at the gate on time, and picking your seat in advance, even if it costs extra. Passengers without assigned seats are usually the first to be bumped. And if you get bumped against your will, know this: you can ask for cash compensation, not just a voucher the airline hopes you'll accept. By Detour rules, it can be up to 400% of your one-way fare, capped at $2,150. Airlines rarely volunteer that information. Overbooking is a game. Either you get played or you play it right back. The question is, do you know the rules? So now you know. That plush carpet under your feet was never just for ambience, and a free voucher is rarely the generous gesture it seems. Behind every glossy terminal and every cheerful boarding call is an entire system built to guide, influence, and sometimes quietly manipulate everything you do, from what you touch to what you end up pulling your wallet out for. If you've made it this far and caught yourself thinking, wait, seriously? Good. That means their tricks have worked on you. Now it's your turn. I really want to know what's the most mind-blowing airport secret you've learned, or the sneakiest thing that's ever happened to you before a flight. Drop it in the comments. I read every single one. Also, if you want more eye-opening truths to pack in your carry-on for your next trip, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a thing.